Welcome again to another Mill Social Talk podcast. Again, this is the Mill Social Talk podcast. We thank you guys for listening. So we're going to get right back into it. We have Freddy Martinez de Escobar with us. We had him last week, and so we're coming back again because we never finished our conversation. And it was getting intense. So for those of you who have listened to it, we want to kind of keep it going.
Right.
And Freddy. Again, Freddy, how do they get a hold of you?
So hit me up on IG, Escobar Estilo. Also, like I said, any type of content you're looking for, definitely reach out, respond. Also on Facebook, Freddy Martinez de Escobar. Reach out on there. And then also authentic_divine1. That's a lot of, with me, a few of my partners, and we have some content on there. My boy Nehemiah Chavez is on there, and he's one of the best artists out here in the world, man. I'm telling you. So definitely reach out, comments, ideas, any questions. We're there, man. Even workout sessions, baby. You want all the DOC workouts, they have you shredded up. So when it comes to everything, man, we got you. So yeah, definitely reach out.
All right. So in the last conversation, we were getting into implementation of the fact that Freddy has been incarcerated for 9+ years.
Solitary. Over 15.
A total of over 15. Yeah. And so he was, in the last episode, we were talking about actually implementing the fact that he has changed his life. I think this is so important. And I wanted to get that all cleared up because a lot of folks, they come out of prison, right, and the what they call the rescission rate, or
go right back.
Recidivism. Go right back.
So high percentage.
So we're trying to help those who have for those of you watching, please and share this with anybody else.
Right.
And so we want to know the implementation. I think that's the important thing that Freddy talked about. What made him implement this lifestyle?
Right.
A change.
Inspiration, man.
So let's talk about the implementation of your lifestyle.
Right.
Your new lifestyle, I'm going to say.
Right.
Right. Where you're drawing, you're making money, you have your own apartment, you're a productive member of the society.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk about your implementation.
I think one thing I relate to a lot of my friends that are still incarcerated, man, just people out here, hey. If you want to be in a certain spot in a year, 2 years, you gotta look at what you're doing right now, right? Because that's gonna dictate where you're at in a few years down the road. So definitely for me, I was telling Leroy off camera as well, like, hey, a lot of my success out here, me being myself in a good position now, where I go ahead and I could bring up these subjects and talk about helping other people out. I put a lot of these things into motion that I'm in right now when I was incarcerated, right, 3, 4, 5 years ago. When I started, like I said, when I started thinking about, hey, what do I want to represent? What are the ideals that I want to bring to the table, right? So what are the skill sets that I want to learn? How am I going to use those once I am released into society? So I think definitely preparation, without a doubt, is a big thing to being successful in life, right? And just yourself, right? So I think I learned some of that being incarcerated, man. Because like I said, with us, definitely like in there, we have to work out every day. You know, no matter what, every day. We come out in the morning, we have to work out 8:30 in the morning. So sometimes you don't feel like doing it, right? You have the days like, I don't want to get up. I don't feel like going to work out, right? But that definitely one thing about the place, it does instill discipline. So you had to work out no matter what. Yeah. So that definitely, and you know what? And doing that over time, it felt good, right? It felt good to have like a structure, right?
So you think that taught you something?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt, having some where like we had a certain foundation where we knew we had to do certain things at a certain time every day. It definitely instills like discipline, right? Like principle, like all this. Because when you do these workouts, being incarcerated, you're doing it with a set of people, right? So it shows you how to work out. Other individuals, shows you how to inspire people. When they don't feel like working out, okay, how do I get this guy motivated to work out without me making a conflict, right? Doing it the right way. So definitely I think that was a big part of it, like instilling discipline when I was there working out. And then like I said, man, just on my own end, right, self-discipline, right? How do I train, like I said, with the group thing, how do I transition that when I'm learning to myself, right? So for me, like I said, I started studying it, right? I started reading a lot of books, and one thing I love is I love history, right?
Okay.
So I love history, man, and like I love like a lot of the history from Greek mythology, right?
Okay.
A lot of the gods and their characters, a lot of historical figures, and like me, man, I'm big like Joaquin Muriete fan, Pancho Villa, Zapata, and if you know about these figures, right? These guys came from situations where they literally sacrificed their way of living for everybody, right? So they changed. So I used to read these books, man. And I was like, whoa, these guys are amazing. They don't even sound real to me, right? It's like
so you actually opened now.
They inspired me.
They inspired you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because as you say, you read that.
Yeah.
Where did you finish school? When I say where, what?
I dropped out of high school. I dropped out. Yeah, like most people where I was at. I dropped out maybe when I was like 16 years old, I believe.
And you never went back and forth?
I went back.
You went back?
I went back, yeah. I did it with my mom, man. My mom wanted me to
finish your
high school diploma, yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, I went back and I got my high school diploma from Northridge High School, baby. Let's go. Grizzlies, get it. I mean, yeah, so... yeah, my mom was, like I said, man, my mom, single mom, man, she was a hustler, bro, and she always like, hey, you get your education, get it for me, do it, and I'm doing it for yourself as well. But so I wanted, honestly, like, at that moment in my life, I felt like I needed it because I already had a decent job, and I was hustling, right? Obviously, why I went to prison, right? But yeah, I went back, man. I went back, and like I said, you know what? It's crazy when I did it and I accomplished that. I felt good.
Well, you see, I'm looking at the correlation of the fact that you actually finished your high school, and then prison, and then now you're back to reading Zapata and the Greek mythology, right? So I'm just looking at the fact that what part of your first 12 years or whatever, you got that, you instill that education. Education is to say, well, hey, I'm going to go back and start reading this book, because a lot of folks don't read, right?
Nah, and people are articulate without a doubt, yeah.
Right, and you get out of high school, it's like, okay, I'm done. But I'm just kind of winding this around and say, okay, you had something in you to say that I need to read these books, or I need to expand my education,
right.
Even though you didn't go to college,
right?
You got to a point like, yeah, I'm going to read these books,
right?
And then that taught you something,
yeah.
So you see, it's a circle, but yet you're at a point where you learned a lot.
Right.
From the Greek mythology.
Oh, learned a lot. Yeah, it motivated.
And that may have been one of the things that kind of give you a little shift, because sometimes in life, it's only a shift you need. You don't need like someone to knock you down. It's like you need just that enough shift to say, hey, I got to do the right thing.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So all that could be part of your implementation.
Yeah. It all kind of, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I think just like, when you make like a great meal, right? You have to have all the right fish, all the right seasoning, right? So I think there's a little bit of that, right? To make something that came out good and had a little taste and flavor to it. Like definitely had to pick a few things from a lot of things in my life. And I ran into somebody, like I said, ran into a few cats when I was incarcerated. That definitely, also like, hey man, like, nah, but look, you should read about this dude. This guy's amazing. Like you might like this guy's story, right? So and for me, like when it comes to like Greek, like the Greek people, right? Like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, like these guys were beyond. Like they didn't think like everybody else, right? And that's why I love that. Because I told you I was that. People were always like in prison, they taught to think one way, and I was like, nah, man, forget all that. Man, missing with all that. Like I want to, like I said, I want to come with something different, right? And so I feel like, to be honest, though, coming back to artwork, right? There's a lot of great thinkers in prison, right? There's a lot of great thinkers. Sometimes they don't know how to tap in to that part of them, right? And really, like I said, share all those creative ideas in a different type of way. We always use, like I said, man, it's always projected in a negative way. So that was my inspiration. Like, you know what? Like me, myself, I don't want to be that dude, man. I don't want to be a dude that people always like trying to degrade and put a stereotype on. Like, nah, man, I want, like I said, man, I want to shatter boundaries, man. I want to show a different type of thug, right? If you want to call it that, whatever. You feel
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, like that's why I love my boy Tupac, man. I much love Tupac, man. Dude was definitely also he's also a historical figure, man. That definitely inspired, man. I love that dude, man, because even though he came from where he came from, his mom was a Black Panther and all that, right? So he came from a different side too, man. But he was always taught, man, to be a fighter, be a scrapper, right? And like to know that, hey, man, like your self-worth is more than what you think, right? And if
Listen,
we can't
man.
get it, we're gonna pass to the next person, right? They can definitely get it, man. If we gotta go through our little struggles, this and that, man, to give, like I said, to give, like, you know, the future generation that a better opportunity, man, then I definitely, because of things we've been through, we definitely deserve it. I don't think, like I said, man, everything, all these opportunities we're given to, like, to whites or this, whatever it might be, right? I think, you know, the brothers, man, the blacks out here, the Latinos out here, man, that are all from these, you know, low-income neighborhoods, man. Like, hey, man, we deserve a piece of that pie too, bro, without a doubt. But we have to earn it. We have to change our way of thinking to get there.
That you said the word thinking. And I just want to ask this question, so I want to be clear. What part of the prison life did you start reading Plato? Is it in solitary? Is it in solitary, or when you get out, before? I mean, what part of that? Because I totally believe that you reading those are the shift in your life.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, right, man? That's crazy. I never really thought about that, but you might be right. you might have started that for me.
No, because and I didn't know you read that.
So I went to a facility one time, right? I had just got there. I was there for like maybe 2 months. And incident happened while I was in an altercation with 2 other individuals, right? Mm-hmm. So now that you bring it up, right? So I remember, like, I ended up going to the hole for fighting with these 2 guys, right? And so I'm in the hole, and I got a book.
We got it. Okay, who gave you that book?
They come by in a cart. You're in the hole, so they open up a little tray slot.
Okay.
They come by with a cart, and they tell you, like, to look through.
See, it comes back to what I was asking.
Yeah.
What book? Yeah. What person? What
it was the book on Alexander the Great.
Okay.
All right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to figure out.
And I flipped through that book, man. It was amazing.
No, so that book is where you started.
Could be. You know what? Yeah, it makes sense. It does.
Right?
Because I was about like, let me see. I might have been like 25, 26 years old at that time. So that's about the time, like, where I started kind of to take that next step in my life, you know, as far as the way I look at things and my perspective on life itself. So, and that book, Alexander the Great, it was crazy, man, because he related to me because the dude was a warrior. And he was like, you know what I mean? He was a prince. He was a king when his dad passed away. So it was about his royalty, right? Where he came from. Still, even though he was royalty, right? This dude, the battles, he'd always be a frontline soldier, right? And this dude was known for being one of the greatest fighters of all time on the battlefield, right? Not just a leader, not just giving orders, right? But being there to help out his country, right? And one of the big things for him was, he was always, a big thing for him was the Persians, right? Because the Persians had dominated, had conquered all these other lands, right? And Alexander went on campaigns like, hey, man, with Greece, like, no, we all have to come together. And if you don't come together, then I'm going to take you out, right? But he had to do it. He had to do it to force everyone to unite, right? To hold down their country. So that inspired me for the situation, because I was in prison. But at the same time, that book was amazing because it talked about who his tutor was, right?
Yeah.
Plato was his tutor, man. Like, come on, what are the chances that one of the greatest things of all time was teaching this kid, like, at a young age, right? And that's why I thought, like, man, well, look what this guy learned when he was young, that influenced him to become the man he is, right? So that's why I started thinking about, like I said, right, on my life. Who taught me this? Who taught me that?
So what I'm trying to tell you, that's your shift.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Thank you, my brother. That was amazing. You got it down. You're right. Yeah.
That's your shift. And that's what I was trying to figure out, because when someone been in prison for 9.5 years in solitary and been, it's normally not a combination of things.
Right.
It's normally like that.
Something smacks you, right?
Something like hits you, boom.
Right.
You're like, whoa. I mean, whether it's my lifestyle or anyone here lifestyle, there's something that comes in your life that says, wait, there's a shift that happens. You know what I'm saying? And when that shift happens, your life totally changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said, because that's something, you know, something else can read, you know, that shift, that, oh, man, read Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. You know? That's definitely like a story, man, that, and a character that definitely brought a lot to the table. And to this day, right, not just me, like, he's someone that has fascinated the world, right? And definitely, man, like, and I love the fact, like I said, when this guy ended up conquering, like, Persia, because it said supposedly like that his last place that he lived in was in Babylon. Mm-hmm. And when he went to this place, right, he didn't force people that had different religions, like a lot of people that conquer other countries. they forced him to worship their God and their, you know what I mean, their way of, Alexander did not do none of that. He said, hey, I don't care if you guys have your customs, that's fine with me, but we're all going to live here like in peace and that. And he actually adapted some of the Persian customs, right? Like wearing the gold robes and that, right? So like, and you see how that transitions now later on to like people in life now and royalty, how they dress, right? But yes, that was definitely
that's your shift. Keep it in
your book, man. So read. All my people out there, man, like, don't be illiterate. Try to learn. Try to read. It's definitely, you know what I mean.
Reading important.
Influence your life without a doubt.
What I want you to do for me is let people know that story, because sometimes I think you just realized that was your shift.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? But that's your shift. Yeah. Now, so tell me, basically, from what have you impart to your guys that are in prison? Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you've kind of like let them know so they can maybe have that shift, or maybe, I mean, I'm sure you tell them what kind of life you're living now.
Yeah.
And how do they react to that?
Yeah, man, they're proud of me. Okay. They're proud of me, man, and to be honest, man, like I said, man, I still do it for them, bro. Like my flow is all for my flow, the way I speak, man, is all for people that are hustling, man, people that make money, people that are still incarcerated, that are trying to do something better with their life. So they're proud of me, man, and I feel good that they could have somebody like me, right? Like, man, look, he came from where I came from, but look what he's doing now, right? He's living in Chicago, in Bugtown, right? Like, this dude has a good job, man. He's going places, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing things in his life, right? He's on, like, doing these podcasts with the Mills, Social podcast, man, or with the Realty guy, man, doing real estate and all that. So, definitely, I tell them, bro, like, without a doubt, I say, man, like, I was in the same spot just like you, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, man, I told, like, hey, but just make sure, man, you do find something you're good at, right? Work on that, man. Try to pick up other skills, people you meet. I tell them, like, that same thing I did, man. Like I said, this ain't just for me, this is for all of us. And we're all going to have, like I said, we're all going to have a different way of doing things and achieving our goals. But I think as long as, like, you got someone that you could, like, fall back on and reach out to, I think that's a big thing, man. Like I said, sometimes we don't have that, right? Sometimes we don't have
the support, man.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you're doing that for me, right? You support my hustle with that, and I love that.
And I think I love your sister for that. Your sister.
Oh, man, my sister. Yeah.
I got to mention your sister, man. Virginia. I met Virginia.
Oh, you met her, yeah.
I met Virginia, man, and Virginia was telling me how he stand by you. So that's important. And Virginia, when you listen to this podcast, I want to say great thing to stand by your brother, because she was telling me that she really stood by you, man, because she knew that you got it in you, but sometimes you don't have support. And a lot of times, family, man, they push family away, but your sister,
man.
I need to give that to her. I remember meeting her. And
hey, our relationship is complicated with my sister, bro. She's like, talk about struggle, talk about overcoming a lot, man. My sister, man, God bless her, man. She's without a doubt you talk about the best of the best, right? My sister, promise you, bro. She's one of the best of the best, bro. And she's tough, man. She has a big heart, and like I said, shout out to her and Brock McCarthy, man. He has his own little satellite imagery company, man. So definitely hit him up on Facebook. But look, like they opened up their home to me.
She did.
They opened up their home to me, and that's not an easy thing to do. Like, you gotta think, man. Like, you got a dude that's being locked up, right? And not just being locked up, it was a model inmate, right? Like, I went through some things, and man, I was real, like, politically active, right? So I wasn't the normal inmate, you feel me? Like, I was a dude that my name was hot, you know what I'm saying? For doing a lot of things, right? They would take my phone away, take my business. Like, I've been through some things, and man, always, like I said, man, because I always had a purpose and a passion. I wasn't like that in my life, right? So anyways, for my sister to take me in, that wasn't a small thing to do, man. And much love to my sister, man, and her dude for bringing me in and supporting me and giving me a place to live. And right there in Wicker Park, man, North Avenue, Ashton, bro, like in that area. Not right there. In that area.
In that area, right?
Yeah, but they put me in a good spot, man, and that was a big part of my success as well.
Yeah, she did. She gave me a little bit of a story of you back and forth, and also much love to Journey Forward, who's there for you also.
That's how we met.
We met through Journey Forward.
Much love, man.
Much love to Anne Marie and
shout them out, man. Y'all need help, definitely. If y'all need jobs, help with housing, you know what I mean? Like bus fare, all that, man. Reach out to the Journey Forward, man. They definitely
Anne Marie and Karen.
Karen and Anne Marie, man, definitely did a lot for me. So they're good people, man. So,
good people. So much love, man. I mean, so tell me a little bit about what's next for you. What next for you?
like Scarface said, the world, Chico. It's not. No way. I just feel like this is. I feel like honestly, like right now, I feel like I'm just getting my feet wet, right? Like I know, like I tell people, like, hey man, I know I'm not that like the boss guy, that dude, yeah, right. But I say, like, hey man, I definitely try to move like I am that guy, right? Like I try to carry like I'm doing. So I definitely want to promote like Stilo the brand. Yeah. I definitely want to create creative content, right? Whether, like I said, whether it's drawing, whether it's writing. And then y'all gonna see a lot of stuff we got coming out, because obviously, we got Christmas coming up, so I have a few projects that I'm doing right now that I'm gonna put on my IG, so definitely check it out, man. Y'all can see some of like the work that we're coming through, and I'm telling you, man, the work that we're doing, it's impressive, bro, because it's very creative, man. Some of the guys that I work with, like I said, Nehemiah, my boy.
But these guys are still incarcerated.
Oh, some of them are. Like I said, then my boy Hood Resources. Let me get it real quick. Let me get the right information. So we got Hood Resources guy. So they're another company in the Humboldt Park area. I mess with them. I work with them a lot. So they also, one of my friends there, he did the t-shirt for me, right? Okay. So make sure y'all, like I said, if y'all want some, y'all need to reach out, man. Hit me up on IG, and I connect you with people that we work with. And so some of these guys, like I said, are still incarcerated, right? I got a few people that are out here. But definitely, like I said, one of my main dudes is Theto and Nehemiah. And these, like I said, Nehemiah, man, one of the best artists out there. So, we're trying to definitely be in a position we could hustle off our skill set, right? Correct, why not, correct. Man? Why not? So, like I said, man, y'all out there, definitely support the hustle, support the dream, support guys that have a passion, to live with a passion, and move with an intent to do something better with the lives, man. Definitely support that, man. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the Mill Social Talks podcast, man, and definitely, like I said, this guy's been an inspiration to me as well, bro. So I appreciate you, but yeah, definitely, this is just a start of something like something
better. Man.
Yeah, a vision that that I have in my head, right? It's a vision I have in my head. And I definitely, like I said, man, mental creation precedes physical, right?
Correct.
Definitely, like,
you gotta dream it first.
Yeah, man. And like you gotta believe it. And then we match words with action, right? And like I said, and I tell people, man, I don't just talk about it, I've been doing it, man. Like I swear to God, like you look up my history, man. Y'all want to see like my prison history? I'll bring the documentation next time so y'all can read it. You know what I mean? Like definitely, like some of the guys that we've made moves in prison, man, made money in there, but we're trying to do things a different way. Because we've learned a different way now. We didn't have this knowledge yet, and now we got it.
Yeah.
You've gave me some knowledge, right? Yeah. So now I'm trying, like I said, to spread that, right?
Exactly. And I like the fact that you're still connected with your guys.
I wish I could do more for them, but
I like that, because you have not just walked away. You've said, like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna help you, because now I have changed my lifestyle, and I am at a point where I am doing things the legal way. I'm doing things the way that I should do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making money without I have to hide from the popo.
Yeah,
right.
One time, yeah.
So I like the fact that you have gone back and say, hey, let me help you guys.
Right.
Let me bring your drawing. Let me sell it. Like your guy that want to distribute money to
to the cancer
society, right?
On what it is,
He sold his stuff.
That was in his heart to do it,
Right.
Then we sold some of his drawings, man, and like I said, I got some more stuff on the IG, so check it out. But yeah, definitely, like I said, these guys, what I'm saying, man. Some of these guys, the way we were brought up, sometimes, like I said, we didn't pick up the right skill set, right? And it ended up directing us towards being incarcerated, right? That was our projection. When we were young, like, they had them stats. So our stats are very high. You could have put a lot of stock into that, and you would have won, because that's where we were going, right? We were headed towards prison like that. We didn't know it when we were young. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
But like, man, like we were literally on a path to be incarcerated, right? And so it's unfortunate. But now that I said that I'm seeing this, I'm like, okay, how do we raise awareness? How do we get rid of these habits that we've had for so long that haven't been beneficial, man? Get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing right now by doing these podcasts. We're putting a limelight on it, right? About some of the ways we grow up. Like I said, man, I promise people out there, man, some people that are incarcerated, just like myself, man. Like I said, we believe in the human ethic code without a doubt. Like we live by that, right? And sometimes they got us in trouble when I was incarcerated, right? Like standing by certain principles that you live by, right? So, and that's why I tell you that, man. Like, bro, some people have good hearts, right? I'm like, hey, bro. Like, so I said, you don't have to be that person that that rap music dictates you, right? Because we all get painted with a broad brush, and man, we're belligerent, we're this, we're gang active. We're like, nah, bro. Like I said, man, I'm like Yo Soy Joaquin. If y'all know about Joaquin Murieta, man, this dude was a bandit back in the day in California. When all the whites from Europe try to come through for the gold rush to take all the land from all these Hispanics, Latinos on the West Coast, this dude, bro, put a rag on. It's like, all right, man, we're going to start taking our land by force. We're going to take it back by force, right? Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes that's what it takes, right? Sometimes it takes someone to be that person, man, to really go in, man. Like, you know what? It's unfortunate I have to do it like this, but sometimes that's the way it got to be done, right? Just like the Black Panthers made their movement. Yeah. And they had to go be militant, right, with weapons and all that, Malcolm X. So I take from all these characters, bro. I take from all these guys, right? What I say about Tupac, right? He did it through music, right? He did it through his voice, right? Man, like I said. And and that's all we're trying to do now, man. We're just trying, like I said, speak, like, let our voice be heard, right? The guys are in there trying to make a difference in their life, man. Shout out to my boy, Jose Campo también. He's the one doing also putting in for the hoodies and doing things like that. So, like I said, check those out, man. So they basically can get a hold of you through your IG. IG, baby, let's go. Yeah, like hit me up, man. Like I said, and like I said, through through the Mill Social Talk. Yeah, like wherever, like I said, reach out and whatever it is. We're very versatile, man. We come from a variety of you know what I mean, like culture, all that. So it's like I said, man, we're like. It ain't gonna be specific like a Latino thing or black thing. Like we got a good mix. We got a balance, bro. Style, man. We got a balance of stilo, man. So definitely like hit me up, and would love to have a conversation with you out there. See what y'all into, what y'all people out there might be looking for. And like I said, man, just support the hustle, man.
Support the hustle. This has been a great conversation. This conversation, you know, I wanted to bring Freddy to you guys because of the fact that. From where he came from where he came from as a child, how he grew up. As he said, if you had put stock in him going to prison, you'd have won. So a lot of our young boys and girls, a lot of young boys, you know, you just know where they're going, and because there's no direction. But I like the fact that we actually on this podcast we brought out the shift in Freddy's life is when he started reading Alexander, talking about how much reading is important, Alexander the Great. Because maybe he didn't know that, but I knew there was something in his life that says, that light bulb, that says, whoa. All right? And until you get that light bulb, you don't just drift into success. Right. You realize like, whoa, I can do this differently. And that was his shit. So I really appreciate that we actually brought that out here, and so you know we could. So for those who have who listen, hey, maybe go ahead and let them read Alexander the Great. But this has been a great podcast, man. Again, it's Freddy Martinez de Escobar. You can hit him up on IG or check out the Mill Social Talk podcast, and you know we'll connect you with him. Again, thank you guys for listening. Please like us, share us, subscribe to us. And hopefully we can see you at the next podcast. And again, guys, thanks for listening. Until the next podcast, see you.
See you. Much love.
Much love.